Hello everyone, today our group CMLL will present about the e-commerce case study in Chapter 4 of the mobile payment market. Our group has 4 members and CMLL is assembled by the first letters of our names, so let's get started. We will divide our presentation into 4 parts. First, we will summarize the big picture of the e-payment market in the United States. Next, we dig into the potential problems of the market. Then we will answer the key questions, and finally, it comes our suggestion about the e-payment market in Vietnam. So let's move to the first part, summary of the case study. Generally speaking, the mobile payment market in the US is rapidly growing, especially among millennials, whose financial decisions are switching rapidly from traditional methods to movements on their mobile phones. Key players in this market are PayPal, technology companies such as Apple, Samsung, or Google, large retailers like Walmart, credit card companies like MasterCard, and banks like JP Morgan Chase or Citi. American consumers spent over $5.1 trillion on credit and debit card transactions in 2015, and mobile payments account for only a tiny percentage of the existing credit and debit card system. But even if a small percentage of the $5 trillion credit card transaction move from plastic to mobile, the potential revenue is very large. The mobile payment market in US is expected to generate to somewhere between $27 billion and $75 billion transaction volume in 2016. This huge variation poses a question regarding the real size of the US mobile payment market in years to come. So now we go into the details of the players in the market. First, e-payment products from technology companies. Apple Pay, Android Pay, and Samsung Pay all use modern technology like NFC technology to facilitate payment. With this technology, mobile users only have to swipe their smartphone near the NFC point of sale terminal. However, not every point of sale accepts or upgrades to this technology. That's why Samsung Pay keeps traditional MST technology as a support when NFC is not available. With this technology, transaction information is protected by digital tokens and encryption. While these methods of payment are free to consumers, each company has their own way to gain revenues. Apple collects 0.15% from credit card companies and banks when they act solely as a technology-based intermediary between card owners and banks, while Google earns directly from their position as a prepaid digital card. Samsung Pay, however, is not a prepaid card. Although the technologies are the same, each has their own strategies and comparative advantages to maintain their market shares, such as giving rewards, have wide network in the ecosystem, or being the most widely used platform or smartphone.
Moving to this part, I will briefly introduce about Venmo. Venmo is currently known as a mobile payment service owned by PayPal. Venmo account holders can transfer funds to others via a mobile app. Both sender and receiver have to live in the US. It is founded in 2010 by 2 college students who want to send cash to one another for sharing restaurant tab and paying small debt without hassle of cash or writing check. Venmo was purchased by PayPal in 2013. At its founding purpose, things like Venmo aims at user convenience. Users sign up for Venmo account to link it to a bank account, a debit card, or a credit card, and then charge payment against that balance. There is no charge for service when users have a Venmo balance or use a debit card. However, there is a 3% charge for using a credit card as their source of fund. Venmo relies on NFC technologies to make in-person payment to individuals by tapping their phone. Venmo popularity has increased, especially among millennials. As we all know, PayPal is currently the most successful and profitable non-traditional online payment system, used mostly on desktop and tablet, but rapidly become a mobile payment force which has its own company since 2015. In addition to online payments, PayPal has also offered a variety of related services, including debit card or payment, credit card reader for small merchants, and lines of credit. PayPal is considered a very secure method of sending payment online. In 2012, PayPal launched PayPal Here, a device that will both read credit card equipped with a computer chip as well as accept the payments from Android Pay and Apple Pay. In 2015, PayPal launched the PayPal.me app, and 2016, PayPal launched NFC payment for locations that accept Visa contactless payment.
Next, we'll talk about large national merchants. While mobile payment systems developed by technology companies are experiencing rapid growth, mobile wallets developed by large national merchants has better. Large national merchants have had a continuous relationship with credit card firms because of the 3% fee charged by credit card companies. Merchants would much prefer customer pay with store credit cards that are linked to customer bank account, where banks do not have to charge a fee, or customer supply prepayment funds. Merchants also want to control the point of sale moment, where they can offer coupons, loyalty rewards, and special discounts, rather than to rely on mobile wallets provided by the technology companies which do not offer these capabilities. For example, Winmart has a VinID, which we use it for later. Large national banks and credit companies have been very slow moving into the mobile payment space. The existing credit card system has worked so well, and their cards are widely accepted by consumers and merchants all over the world. Mobile payment systems are competitors for the loyalty of bank customers who deposit billions of dollars in bank checkings, savings, and debit cards. Banks so far have not introduced apps for making NFC payments for consumer purchases, but this will surely be introduced shortly. For example, Bank has a QR Pay. You can use it for buying things. Next up, we talk about what problems or issues the company face. The future for smartphone mobile wallets is assured given the size of players involved, but the transition is going much slower than we initially thought, with millions of consumers trying the new method once and then not using them again, because there's not enough merchants accepting them. There's a lack of familiarities and the concern about security and privacy. One recent study found that there are now 11 million contactless mobile payment users in the United States, but just 2.3 million who are active users. A full transition to mobile payment will be a long time coming. Next up, I will answer the question, who are the three major players in the mobile payment market? First up, we have the technology companies such as Apple, Google, Samsung, and PayPal. Next up, we have the large national merchants such as Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Lastly, we have the money central bank such as JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citi.
So the second question is, why is Venmo considered a social mobile payment system? To answer for these questions, we need to know more about how Venmo works. Its first function is to let users transfer money to one another, or to pay at a small number of participating merchants. Users can also create a Venmo balance by sending money to their Venmo account and then charge payment against that balance. There is a social aspect of Venmo that allows users to share their purchase event. Besides, users have the option to keep all the transactions private as well. When they want to make a payment to another person, they enter a person's email and funds are transferred to the recipient, who must also have a Venmo account, accept the payment.
The third question is, how does Apple Pay differ from Android Pay and Samsung Pay? To answer the question, we can resume to the previous analysis about the three methods, but to sum up, there are two prominent points. First, Apple Pay acts solely as a technology-based intermediary between consumers and banks, while Android Pay acts as a prepaid digital card, being regulated by the federal. And second, Apple Pay uses NFC technology, which requires encrypted messages for security, while Samsung Pay provides additional MST technology for availability of payment where terminals are not MFC upgraded.
Concerning the questions, how does PayPal enable mobile payment? PayPal currently enables mobile payments in 3 ways. First, PayPal sells a device that allows merchants, mostly small businesses, to swipe credit card using a smartphone or tablet, just like Square device. Second, the most common PayPal mobile payment occurs when customers use their mobile device, browsers on a tablet or smartphone to make a purchase or payment at a website. That is not very helpful for merchants like Starbucks or local restaurants who would like customers to be able to purchase goods in their stores and outlets on the fly without keying in information to a smartphone. And the third method is PayPal's updated app for iOS and Android devices. On entering a merchant store that accepts PayPal app payment, the app establishes a link using Bluetooth with a merchant's app that is also running on an iOS or Android device. This step authenticates the user PayPal account.
Now we will move on to the next section, which is the suggestions for Vietnam that we found in the case that can be useful for our country business. First is the size and the trend. Vietnam mobile market size was valued at 250 billion in 2019 and is projected to reach 2,732 billion in 2027. Secondly, users pay with their phones in Vietnam is estimated at 29.1%, the third highest in the world. And the main forms of mobile payments in Vietnam are e-wallet, mobile banking, and mobile point of sales. So here are the top impacting factors. First is the development of the fintech and payment industry. The advancement of technology have made it more and more viable for financial institutions to provide services such as e-banking and mobile money to unbanked and underbanked population. Then the increase in presence of fintech firms has supplemented the growth of the mobile payment market. Second is the rise in data breaches and security issues in mobile payments. Consumers are hesitant to make or receive payments via their mobile phones as they are concerned about the risk of the financial information being accessed by third-party mobile service providers. Third is the increase in demand for fast and hassle-free transaction services. The mobile payment is the preferred medium for paying or receiving payments, as it offers high speed and hassle-free services. This in turn attracts companies to offer their goods and services via mobile platforms. And last but not least is the COVID factors. The COVID-19 pandemic had a significant impact on the Vietnamese mobile payment market revenue, attributed to implementation of lockdown by governments and shutdown of businesses. So consumers have increased the use of mobile and contactless payment methods in order to avoid cash payment. Now let's move on to the part where we compare the companies in Vietnam with the others in the world. So the first factors is the method. In Vietnam, we also use both NFC and MST payment. About the key players in Vietnam, there are Service, also known as Momo, VNG Corporation, who has Zalo Pay, the National Payment Corporation of Vietnam, NAPAS, and so on. They have the similarities with companies over the world that they are also tech company or credit card companies or banks. About the marketplace, Vietnamese market is a little bit different, is that they still free to consumer with rewards and coupons that require transaction fee for only special transaction because in Vietnam they're still in adoption phase, so they need to attract the users. And about the advantage of the key players in Vietnam, the similarities is that some key players like VNG Corporation and Shopee also use their available ecosystem such as Zalo and Shopee to acquire first user to use their wallet. So from what we have presented, the key learnings of such case studies are that Vietnamese companies can learn are the bank can introduce the NFC payments in mobile banking app. For example, the QR Pay code in Vietcombank. And secondly, many companies like Service can learn from Apple Pay or Android Pay, for example, to get the backup by a backbone ecosystem behind for a longer growth strategy. So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, please comment below.